Hey guys, Blix here. I figured we'd take a shot at the vlog type thing, so this is Josh.
How's it going, everybody?
One of the workers down here at Cloud9 in Yagertown. My right hand man.
Not that kind of right hand man.
But anyway, I figured we'd touch base on some of the stuff that's been going around about vaping, you know, stuff about battery safety, myths about it, stuff like that. So, you want to take it off, Josh?
Alright, let's get started. We'll get started with the easy stuff. The differences between VG and PG ratio. I know I've had a lot of customers come in and ask what the difference is between like 80 VG, 20 PG, or 70 VG, 30 PG, or 50-50, or 40-60. And all that is the VG is basically your vapor producing liquid that's in the e-juice. The more VG you have, the thicker the liquid, the more vapor you will produce. The PG is basically your flavor carrier. And what that does is it determines how potent and how strong the flavor of the juice is going to be. But most people have gotten really good with working with VG based juices, where it's basically VG is considered like the PG, and it carries the flavor just as well. When you have a higher PG versus a VG, it's going to be a lot stronger, and it might be too unbearable to handle, because all it is going to be straight flavoring. If you have a 50-50, you're getting a perfect balance of vape and flavor. The higher the VG is usually for people that like want to blow huge clouds or feel like they need more vapor. And so that's where the 70-30, the 80-20, the 90-10, or the 99% VG juices come from. And like I said, they're a lot thicker juices, which are usually used for drippers or some high-end sub-ohm tanks. Whereas like higher PG is going to be really thin and watery, and it's going to burn out a lot faster. So if you're going to go for something for more or less clouds and more vapor production, anything between 70-30 or 80-20 is going to be perfectly fine for you. But if you're somebody that just wants a little bit of vapor and a good amount of flavor, a 50-50 blend will be perfectly fine.
Do the do. I'm just being a jerk.
Well, no shit. Do you have anything to add?
I think you pretty much covered the VG PG. VG, of course, like higher VG juices, they'll have a lot of trouble running in like the old pen style vapes. Matter of fact, I got the old Spire K1 right here. For those, you want something that's probably like a 50-50 blend. Sometimes you can do a 70-30, stuff like that. I think I'm going to move on to the popcorn lung thing with diacetyl. Anybody that's worried about diacetyl and e-liquids, quit it. Because people don't understand that there's actually 300 times more diacetyl in an average cigarette than you'll ever find in an e-liquid bottle. Then there was only ever 4 cases known nationwide of popcorn lung, and that's back in the 1970s where they had the popcorn factories and stuff like that. They used powdered diacetyl for the butter flavorings. So they were inhaling this like 12 hours a day, you know, 5 to 7 days a week. So, and they can't even link it that it was actually diacetyl that caused this. So you have nothing to worry about with diacetyl. Matter of fact, I know there's a couple companies that had a lawsuit against them. I believe 2 of them was Five Ponds and Suicide Bunny, because there was trace amounts of diacetyl found in their liquids. So when it comes to diacetyl, that's just we end up doing it to ourselves in the vaping community because we were trying to make vaping in general harm elimination when it's mainly just for harm reduction. I mean, it is 95% better for you than smoking. There are some flavorings that we don't quite know about, and diacetyl is one of them. But I have vaped those liquids consistently that had diacetyl in it. Never had a problem. All right. Next topic.
Battery safety.
That's a big one for him.
Probably one of the biggest topics for me is battery safety. Mainly for the simple fact that vaping's getting a bad name because of all the accidents that are happening with batteries and things like that. So what I want to make sure everybody knows is you're buying the proper batteries, knowing your battery's limits, and making sure you absolutely do not put any kind of batteries in your pocket with loose change or keys or anything metal. So to start it off, we're going to talk about married pairs. I am a big person on married pairs. And what that means is they are the same amps, the same mAh rating, and the same brand. And what that's usually for is like your box mods, whether regulated or unregulated. Just keep them together. If you're gonna get a box mod, buy two of the same types of batteries. Don't buy if they have, say, an LG HG2 and a Samsung. Don't buy those two. Just wait till they get new batteries in, or find somewhere else that you can get two of the same pair. I know a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, well, that doesn't really matter as long as they're the same mAh rating and this and that. But your safety is more important than anything. So keeping them in the same brand, same mAh rating, same amp rating, and voltage, which I completely forgot about, just make sure you're doing it properly. There are 18650 flashlight batteries, and those are usually rated anywhere between 10 amps and lower. And if they say like they're like 5,000 mAh or anything like that, don't trust them. Take a multimeter, check the amps. If they're over 20 amps, you're good. If you're under 20 amps or under 10 amps, don't use them for anything else but a flashlight. And they're made for LED flashlights. They're not made for like your little flashlights that you can get at Walmart and that take like D size or C size batteries or whatever.
It looks like we have a customer. I'll go ahead and take care of that while you still talk. Not bad. How about you, bud?
But what you need to make sure is you're paying attention to what you're doing. When you're putting them in your pocket, make sure that they are in a closed battery case, which I have one. I can show you guys. Hang on one second.
I know you've been dying for this one, so.
I don't know if I can find them.
What are you looking for?
My batteries.
They're on the charger.
No, they're not my batteries.
Oh, go ahead and use mine.
I'm looking for my battery case.
Is it in this?
That's where it is.
That's right.
Okay. This is a battery case. This is what will keep your batteries safe, keep them from shorting in your pocket, keeping them away from metal and coins, and everything. You can get them pretty much anywhere. Sigeli usually sends them with their batteries if you buy two or more. But it's just real convenient. I mean, your batteries are right there. They're perfectly safe. It's hard plastic. So you'll be perfectly fine. Another place you can get them is at illuminationsupply.com. Whenever you order any of your batteries on there, you do get a battery case for free. But just make sure that you are paying attention to your batteries. If they are ripping or anything like that along the top. I mean, what I've done is I took electrical tape and just wrapped it around and then sealed it so they still work. Another thing you can do is you can rewrap the batteries, meaning you take this outer coating off and you get heat shrink tubing and put it into the heat shrink tubing and use a heat gun. You can use a lighter. I don't care what people say. You can use a lighter. Just don't like overheat it. But there's just multiple ways you can keep using batteries safely. But if you start having like pieces on the side ripping off and things like that, cover it immediately. Especially if you're using a tube mech, because you don't want it to short out the battery when it touches the sides of the wall. So just proper maintenance with your batteries and paying attention to what you're using. Ultrafires, stay away from them. Just save yourself some time. I know a lot of people don't like eFest. There are some eFest that still are decent. The current 3000 mAh ones, I would not recommend unless you're using them in like a Kanger box, like a Top Box Nano or a Top Box Mini. Just don't use them for regulated or unregulated, just because they are actually rated for 20 amps, not the 30 amps that they are rated for on the battery.
And unfortunately, some of the 3000 mAhs will only push out 15 amps, so that's why we're very leery on that. Especially the brand called Sub-Ohm Cell. They're rated at a 35 amp battery. They're like 2600 mAh, but they're only a 15 amp battery. So personally, my favorite brands to go with is anything from LG, Sony, or Samsung. Matter of fact, I have Samsung 25Rs right now. I'm using MXJOs. I mean, they are a rewrap, but they're a rewrap of a very good battery. Most of them are rewraps of LG batteries. So.
And if your batteries ever start to vent, throw them as far away as possible, as fast as possible.
I always piss him off because I never pay attention to battery safety half the time. Of course, I've been vaping for so long that, you know, if anything starts going catastrophically wrong, I know what to do. Because right now, well, this one I'm actually running very safely. A lot of times when like my Plumeville mech mod, I run like a 0.09 ohm. But then again, I'm also using really good batteries that are capable of handling something like that. It's just not recommended. Anything else on the battery safety front?
Nope.
Alright. Well, I think I'm going to tackle a subject that's not on our list that does need to be addressed. The whole thing with hybrid top caps. Matter of fact, one of our local vapors actually just tried to screw a tank onto a hybrid mech mod, and like he's got third-degree burns all down through his hand. So luckily it didn't like go off in his hand too much. He just got the heat aspect from it. But so I got a couple different tube mechs here. Right now, this one's the Plumeville. It's the limited edition. This one has the center 510 pin in there. I'm not sure if you can see that. That actually separates your battery from your tank or your dripper. Now this one you can run a tank on, but always like I don't recommend tanks on any form of mech. Now what a hybrid top cap is what this one is. So if I would screw this piece off right here, see how there's nothing there? I can see you. But that means that you have to have a dripper that has a protruding center 510 pin long enough to stick out to make direct contact with your battery. Because if that's flush, it'll cause your batteries to vent. It leads to bad times. Very bad times. So make sure if you're using a hybrid connector, you use the utmost safety on it. No Ohm's law, just like with any other mech. I have seen too many problems where people will forget that this is a hybrid top cap, try to throw a tank on there, and so definitely, you know, and if you don't know exactly what you're doing and everything, go to your local vape shop. 90 times, you know, they'll know what to do. They'll help you. Us personally in our vape shop, we don't like to carry anything with the hybrid style tops, just because we know there's some people out there that, you know, aren't as experienced with them. I like hybrids, although right now with the way vaping is going right now, I think it was a bad time to release them, because we're fighting for our vaping rights, you know, and there's horror stories of these just going off and, you know, causing some damage. So that's one of the reasons why we don't, you know, carry them. All right, tackle the next subject.
Benefits of vaping. You get healthy. You get off the stinkies. You can breathe better. Granted, yeah, the first few, like, week or so, when you first start vaping, you're going to cough a lot. You're going to feel like you're hacking up your lungs. But don't let it deter you. It's just basically getting all the gunk and shit out of your chest. But I mean, it is a lot healthier.
Just for mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing it for about 2.5 years. He's been doing it for
7.
I feel a lot better. I can breathe better. I can do a lot of things that I used to always get tired from doing because of smoking so much. I started out with 12 nicotine, gradually went down to 0. And honestly, 0 was nice for a while, but I felt more comfortable at 3, and I eventually went back to 3 nicotine. And no, that's not me saying, like, you know, I quit and then went back to getting nicotine. It's just I felt more comfortable with a 3 nicotine rather than 0 nicotine. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. So, honestly, you really can't go wrong with vaping. It's better than cigarettes, and it's better than a hookah. It's better than a lot of stuff that you inhale in your body. I mean, because you only have VG, PG, artificial and natural flavorings, and nicotine. You don't got carcinogens, you don't got tar, you don't got the MAOIs. I mean, you don't got all that shit that you get in cigarettes. Anything else?
I will honestly, I would take note on something. I used to be a 2-pack a day smoker, and back when I started vaping, all that you could find was like tobacco flavors and stuff like that. Anybody that started back then, they'll agree with me. Honestly, after probably about 3 weeks of vaping, I started hacking up all the gunk that cigarettes had put in my lungs. It just peels that tar and everything right out from inside your lungs, and it makes you feel better. I'll honestly say that my mom was, she had COPD. I guess she technically still has it. She was told, you know, listen, you have to stop smoking or you're going to be put on oxygen. So, knowing that I vaped for so long, she finally came up to me to get her first starter set. So, you know, I gave her a little starter kit and everything. She touched that, hasn't touched a cigarette since. After just 3 weeks, the rattle in her lung went away, and now there's barely even traces of her ever having COPD, and that's supposed to be permanent damage. So I don't know what caused her lungs to heal. I want to say it's vaping, just don't know. There hasn't been enough studies on it to prove it. I will honestly say that, you know, compared to a smoker that quit smoking and a smoker that switched over to vaping, the one that was vaping, their lungs were actually healing quicker. So, and I think that's actually the propylene glycol, because it is kind of a natural antibiotic of sorts. Matter of fact, I actually just helped a customer out today, and this is the reason why I got into working in vape shops and stuff like that. He was smoking for 40 years, and he already had mouth cancer, and they ended up getting rid of it, and he's so scared that it's going to come back. He came in today and got his first vape setup, and he got like a traditional pen style. It was actually the EVOD Mega starter kit. I gave him a 12 milligram nicotine of e-liquid, and while I set it up for him and everything, and while me and him were standing here shooting the shit, he actually said, you know what, I was thinking about having a cigarette a few minutes ago, but using this, I'm not even thinking about it. He's like, here, take this pack of cigarettes and throw it out for me. So hopefully we got ourselves another vapor, and it helps him out in the long run. Hopefully he can stick to the vaping, and he doesn't have to worry about that big old cancer scare again.
Absolutely.
Next topic?
It's all you, man. I don't even know what else we have left.
Well, oh yeah, they actually just passed the first bill regulated towards vaping, saying that all nicotine bottles have to have a child-resistant cap now, which honestly I agree with. I mean, right now, some of our juices still don't have them, but the companies are switching over to them. We've been keeping in contact with them, talking to them about it. So that kind of puts a damper on my juice that I mentioned before, my juice line. But I think I found a way around it, so, I mean, it's still safe. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And also, New York just passed a bill stating that they can no longer consider vaping a tobacco product. So that's definitely a step in the right direction for advocacy. I think the only one that haven't hit was myths.
I think we covered them while we were doing all the other ones.
Yeah, that's true. With the hybrid top caps, stuff like that. So, let's take a minute and blow some clouds. See if we can't think of something else. First vlog, so we're maybe a little disorganized.
Holy shit, we're at 22 minutes already. They're gonna be so bored already through half of it.
As Grim Green says, man, we need to hurry up and wrap this up. This vlog's getting too long. Getting too long, man. I love Grim Green. He's actually the one who helped me during my vaping journey with just his review videos alone. I know there's a whole bunch of controversy about Rip Trippers. You know what? He advertised for a product. Let it go. Let it go. He's not really saying anything negative about vaping, so... I mean, can you have a little bit of a dehydration problem with e-liquid?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just keep hydrated. I mean, it's about reduction, not harm elimination. You know what I mean? So leave the poor man alone. But anyway, Grim Green, Rip Tripper, Twisted 420, big shout outs to those guys. Phil Pissardo, they helped me through my vape journey with their reviews and stuff, their advocacy stuff. And you know what? I'm actually going to tag them in the description then too. I think it definitely deserves some respect towards these guys because they do this, just for the fun of it. They do it, to help educate people about vaping. And that's one of the reasons why I got into YouTube reviews too. I mean, without people that do reviews on product, you're not going to know what you're buying. So, I mean, learn some information on the way, grow with the industry. Honestly, since I started vaping, all we had was like these little stupid like Siga-like things that the battery life on them was atrocious. And now look what we have. I got to see the industry grow. And unfortunately, a lot of people's not going to see that, but you know what? It's come a long way. Clouds
For days.
Oh, and one good thing, I'm not sure, I think I mentioned it in a review video a little bit ago. If you're from Pennsylvania and everything, Cloud9 Vapors, we're going to be at the Carlisle Vape Expo, our first Vape Expo ever. We going to have our clone juice there, and hopefully, as long as everything goes according to plan, we're going to have our new line Nuked released there too.
That's May 13th through the 15th at the Carlisle Expo Center.
Be there.
Because we will be. I don't know what we're supposed to do now. We're just supposed to look cool. I don't know.
War paint.
Wall paint.
War.
Holy diver.
Yep.
I think this video is going on long enough.
Yeah, it might have. I'm sure there's something else that we should tackle, but you know what?
I think it's time for us to say farewell. For now.
There'll be more vlogs to come. He'll be in more of my videos. So. But anyway, this has been Blix.
And Josh.
And Josh. That's this guy.
Stop by and see us at Cloud9 Vapors in Yeagertown.
Yes, I think they've already discovered I'm a ginger.
But anyway, peace out, guys. We'll leave you with the cloud.